Hey guys, so just got back from a late showing of the Hunger Games Catching Fire. Before I get into my review of that, I figure I should give you my thoughts on the original Hunger Games, which came out a year ago. I didn't do a review for the Hunger Games a year ago because I hadn't started doing these reviews until probably a couple months after the movie came out. And I liked the original Hunger Games. I thought it was a pretty good. They were a pretty good movie. I thought casting wise, the movie was great. Story wise, the movie was great. I thought the first half of the movie was really good. I thought if it focused more on that, it would have been an excellent movie. I loved the world the first half of this movie set up. It was really eerie and really messed up. Like the showing what this world kind of celebrates all these children being sent off to kill each other and stuff like that. How this futuristic world is just celebrating them and dressing them up, and and then sending them off to their deaths. This is really messed up. Like it was really great commentary on like society as a whole, our society as a whole, and like reality television, our obsession with reality television. It was really good. I liked it. I liked the first half of the Hunger Games. But where the movie started to lose me, when I'm talking about the first Hunger Games, obviously, where the first Hunger Games lost me was the second half, where the actual Hunger Games began. Now, when I first saw the first Hunger Games, just to give you an idea of what my mindset was, I basically just got off from working a 4 a.m. to 12 p.m. Shift at work, and then decided for some reason, oh, I'm gonna go see the Hunger Games. It was probably not a very good idea. So, and then on top of that, I also had 0 hours of sleep. So I was really tired, and I got a big thing of like Coke or whatever to keep me awake throughout the whole movie because it was a 2.5 hour movie. I knew ahead of time it would be a 2.5 hour movie, but I was fine throughout the first half. It kept my interest. I had no trouble keeping awake for the first half. But when it got to the Hunger Games part, I started dozing off. And that was not because the movie was like losing my interest whatsoever or anything like that. It was because of the fucking lazy camera work. And this has been talked about a lot with the first one. And that is just a shaky cam going, like every time somebody would get killed, the camera would just go fucking all over the place and just go nuts, and like they couldn't keep the camera still. They were trying to hide the violence, but at the same time making people fucking motion sickness have motion sickness, and it was fucking ridiculous. It was some of the laziest filmmaking I've ever seen, and it really took my joy from the film somewhat. Uh, it, I would have rated the movie higher if the camera work had been better in the second half, and it really was distracting and it was really annoying, and it was prevalent throughout the second half. And uh, with this movie, the second one, I was looking forward to this because this one was going to have a different director, and I figured with the different director this time, maybe this director would hire somebody that actually knew how to hold a camera fucking steady. I mean, Jesus Christ. And the guy who made this one was the guy who made I Am Legends and what else he made? Water for Elephants, and Constantine. Not exactly three great movies, but they were not bad movies. So going into this, I was hoping this would be immensely better, especially when it came to the camera work. If it was better, if it had some of the same elements that the first one had that I really liked, and also had really good camera work and had a cameraman that kept the camera steady for almost the whole movie, I would have been fine. I would have loved this movie. And you know what? This movie, my opinion, and I don't know if I'm the only one thinking this, but this movie, in my opinion, is 10 times better than the first one. I freaking enjoyed this movie the whole way through. I enjoyed everything about this movie. This movie was really good. I can't sing this movie enough praises. The cast in this movie, just like the cast in the first movie, was great. And then you people from the first one, Jennifer Lawrence, is really really good. This girl is a really damn good actress, and she's really good as Katniss Everdeen. She carries these films a lot. Woody Harrelson. These are people I'm highlighting as my favorites in this movie. Woody Harrelson is great as the Haymitch, or whatever the hell his name is, and he's basically playing a drunk Woody Harrelson. That's not very far fetched, but he does really well. I enjoy scenes with him in it. Josh Hutcherson is good in this movie. I think he's good. I've enjoyed that kid for years. I think he's not a bad actor. Liam Hemsworth is fine. Elizabeth Banks is really freaking funny. She's way over the top, like she was in the first one. And with the way they got her dressed up, she should not be anything more than over the top because of how the way they got her dressed up. I wouldn't expect anything less. I love Stanley Tucci in this movie. Donald fucking Sutherland. How did I forget about talking about Donald Sutherland? Donald Sutherland is fantastic. He is menacing as shit in this movie. My God, they gave him a bigger role in this one than he had in the first one, and by God, is he frightening. He outright wants to murder Katniss Everdeen in this fucking movie, and you believe that he wants to murder her. He's just fucking cold-hearted as hell. I've really enjoyed him in this movie. I thought he really was a really good antagonist. I thought he was really, really good in this movie. And then you also got, on top of that, fucking Philip Seymour Hoffman, who they added in. And when I first saw him in the trailer, like, holy shit, they added Philip Seymour Hoffman as another villain. He basically plays he's the new game maker in this movie, that and he replaces the old guy that basically got fired after the first Hunger Games, or the last Hunger Games glitch, where PETA and Katniss both tried to kill themselves, sacrifice themselves, or basically, and he ended up giving up and letting them both win the game. But yeah, Philip Seymour Hoffman is really, really good in this. He's a damn good addition to this film. And that's what I love about these films, is that they keep bringing in really good actors. I mean, next movie is going to have Julianne Moore, for fuck's sake, and I love Julianne Moore. And Philip Seymour Hoffman, I don't know whether or not he's going to be on the next one, because from how the way this movie ends, you expect that he's going to be in the next one. I'm pretty sure he will. But for anybody who doesn't know, he had some issues. Like, he went to drug rehabilitation. He had some drug addiction problems. I forget what it was, like heroin or something like that he got addicted to, and he's now in rehab. I'm hoping he pops back up in the next one. I think I was looking at the Wikipedia page, and he's gonna be back for the next one, and I hope he is. What the hell? Sorry about that. Anyways, yeah, he's really good in this. All the other new additions are really good in this too. Jeffrey Wright plays one of one of the people that is stuck in the new Hunger Game. So is Jenna Malone. Damn it, I'm thinking I'm forgetting somebody else here. And both Jeffrey Wright and Jenna Malone, who I love Jeffrey Wright, by the way. He's one of those guys that's always been in movies, and I always enjoy him a lot. And Jenna Malone, both of them are casted perfectly. That's one of the things I love about those movies, is that everybody's casted perfectly in their roles. especially Woody Harrelson and Stanley Tucci and Donald Sutherland are really perfectly casted in their roles, and so is Jennifer Lawrence, obviously. I mean, just the cast in this movie, I can't give it enough praise. The acting is really good. It's nothing but really well done acting. I really enjoyed the story in this movie a lot. This movie takes the dark and the bleak nature of the story from the first one and amps it up to 10. For fuck's sake. I mean, this is really dark and bleak. People are getting fucking murdered in this movie. This is no kids book anymore. This is no kids movie. This is a tough movie to bring your kids to. I mean, this is you should kind of know that going in, that with the concept it has, it's a very mature, very, very mature subject. And kids are murdering kids and it's in the first one, for God's sakes, even though they don't really show it, as they have to fucking have shaky cam. This movie, not only is fellow fellow players on the Hunger Games, I forget what the hell their name is, are trying to kill Katniss. So is Donald Sutherland and Philip Seymour Hoffman, as it seems, and they are like going at not all stops to try to kill her, and it's freaking ridiculous. Although it does bring up a couple questions when you're watching the movie, like when they start the Hunger Games, they show all these different things they throw at her to try to kill her, like what the hell? There's a typhoon. There's a poisonous fog. There is really crazy baboons. They're like flesh-eating baboons, apparently, which is really weird. That try to attack her, and you're like, why didn't they just fucking just throw it all at her at once during not save it? Why save it until like halfway through the games, which they do explain. I'll give them that. I'm giving points. I'm just like, why didn't they just try to fucking kill her like right off the bat, and then they wouldn't have that problem to deal with. But I'll give them that. They do address why they don't do it at the very end. Like I said, yeah, the story is really good, and this movie's bleak and dark as shit. Especially how this movie ends is really bleak and dark. It ends in a really dark place. It sets up for some interesting ideas for the third one, which I know I've read some spoilers about the third book, and by God, does that sound really dark. What else? Obviously, like I said, my biggest problem with the first one was the camera work. And the camera work in this is immensely better than the fucking camera work in the first one. It's... Honestly, it's it, you can tell what the fuck is going on half the time while watching this movie, and that fucking helps. Only times where I couldn't tell what was going on wasn't because of the movie, like the camera work. It was because of where I was sitting in the theater. I went and saw this in a packed house. Literally, I was sold out, and I'm sitting like really close to the screen, like sitting like this, watching the movie from like this angle. And so basically, if something was like that far away in the distance, or if the movie like was set in the dark, I could barely tell what was going on. Especially during the baboon scene, I could barely tell what was going on. And that was not for the fault of the filmmakers. That was for the fault of where I was sitting. Unfortunately, where I was sitting. And yeah, the camera work is immensely a lot better. You can tell what's going on. Yeah, they hide away from the violence, but they don't go fucking all shaky cam to do it. And there's ways you can do it without doing. You can hide away from the violence without doing shaky cam. That was just fucking lazy how they did it in the first one. In this one, they improved a hell of a lot more. Well, when I said when I say also the story is bleak and dark as shit, I also didn't really know how the fuck they were gonna get out of this. Like, I knew they were. I mean, I knew obviously Katniss was gonna live and Peeta was gonna live and everybody, a lot of the main actors were gonna live because they had to make a third one. But I was like, honestly, towards the end, I'm like, how the hell are they gonna get out of this? I was really curious on how that would, and the way it happens is kind of one of those one of those what the fuck did I just see moments. Like, really, I'm supposed to really suspend disbelief that the makers of this game didn't think of that before they set up this game, but they do answer that too. They do answer that plot hole, and I'll give them that. And I give them props that they didn't just like leave it open, like kind of make you go, "What the fuck?" Props to that. I'm trying to think. Is there anything that I disliked about this movie? Because there are a lot of moments where you kind of go, like I said, where you kind of a lot of logic in this movie is. If you sit there and think about it, you can probably nitpick at this shit. I will tell you that. There are parts of this movie you could nitpick the shit, but because I enjoyed this movie enough, I didn't really give a shit. There is one part I forgot. I have to mention this, and if you see this movie, let me know what the fuck this was about. And I saw this movie with a friend of mine who had read the books, and she tried to explain it to me, but still, this is one of the weirdest fucking moments in the whole film. When you see this movie, if you haven't yet, look out for this scene. There's a scene where I think it's Woody Harrelson and Katniss and Peeta all meeting to talk about their strategy for the new Hunger Game. And they're sitting at this table. And it's a normal scene, but the problem was, for me, was that I was very distracted, and I didn't really hear that most of that conversation. You want to know why I didn't hear that conversation? Because in the background, there was, I'm not joking here, there was like a person standing, like, or a statue or a person, I can't really fucking tell, standing in the background with like, looked like duct tape wrapped around their head. Why? You're just like, why? Like, nobody dresses that. Like, there's nobody in the room addresses that. You're like, kind of like, the fuck was that? There was a point in the movie when that scene popped up. There were a few people who went, what the fuck is that? I was not the only one pointing at the screen like, what the fuck was that? And my friend tells me like something about, Ashley, if you're watching this, help me explain this. There something about they cut out somebody's tongue or something. Still, what the fuck? Why has he got duct tape wrapped around his head? It's like it was really distracting. That scene was about as distracting as in Kick-Ass 2 when they had that weird ass picture of Nicolas Cage hanging in the background. That was distracting as that. Damn it, I was. I'm thinking I'm forgetting something else that annoyed me, or maybe a little bit. I think that's it. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. But yeah, that was a really, really weird moment. That was. Oh, yeah, now I remember. And also, I recommend if you see this movie, try to see it when the crowd dies down. I went and saw this movie in a packed fucking house. No joke. And I tried to avoid... I didn't go see it yesterday because I wanted to avoid the teenage crowd. But my dumbass decided, I'll go the next day at 8 p.m. when there's going to be a bunch of teenagers. And there were. and the people behind me would not shut the fuck up. It is nothing more annoying than somebody who won't shut up throughout the whole movie. And they're teenagers, and they're about having an orgasm when the movie fucking started, and they about shit their pants when uh, what was it? One of the baboons like jumped out and did a jump scare, and tried to attack PETA. They about shit their pants. I mean, and these people would not shut the fuck up. Also, they were rustling around their candy wrappers and stuff like that, and it's fucking loud and annoying. There's nothing more annoying in the theater when people are just trying to sit there and watch a fucking movie. And throughout the first half of the movie, I was kind of distracted by that, and I mean, it didn't take away my enjoyment of it, but it was really fucking annoying. And like I said, and go see it also because you don't want to be where I was sitting, where you're kind of looking out like this, because it was sometimes, like I said, it was sometimes really hard to tell what was going on in some scenes, and that kind of ruined it a little bit, but not too much. I really love this movie. Really highly recommend it. One of the better movies of the year. What the fuck is up with? Why do we have to wait until September till December to get all the really good fucking movies? This is really starting to piss me off. I might, from this point forward, just not go see any movie, maybe, until September for December. Because this is getting ridiculous. I spent all this money to go see movies, and only the good ones come out in September and December. It's really fucking ridiculous. Why do we gotta wait this long this year? I mean, this year's been shit. This year in movies has been shit, but you know what? The last couple of months have improved immensely. So, man. What trailers did I get? I was speaking that. I got, one trailer I did get was more memorable than any of them. Because we did walk in a little late on the trailers, but one that was pretty good was that Noah trailer. Russell Crowe, Noah's Ark movie that's being directed by Darren Aronofsky. It looks really good. I'm not a religious person, but it looks alright. And it's being directed by Darren Aronofsky, the guy who made Black Swan, Requiem for a Dream, and The Wrestler. Really like that guy's movies. It looks like a movie made by him, that it's very colorful and has a lot of psychedelic shit in it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I did get something fucking basically a Twilight meets fucking Mean Girls, and being directed by the person that made Mean Girls. It's called fucking Vampire Academy. I'm at this point, even the girl I was sitting with is my friend who's basically the target audience for this movie. That movie fucking thought it looked stupid. And I'm at this point, I'm sick of fucking vampires and zombies. I'm done with movies being made about. They need to retire vampires and zombies for a while, because it's getting old, really fucking old. I'm sick of seeing a movie almost every month about either one of those. I can't remember any fucking other trailers than that, because they weren't very memorable. That's all I can tell you. But anyways, I'm gonna get off here. I'll be back next week, which is gonna be Thanksgiving week, but I don't know when I'll be back. Either Wednesday or Friday. I'm not 100% sure what the hell I'm gonna go see. Originally I was gonna go see Old Boy, the remake of Old Boy, but it's not coming to my movie theater. I'm not driving up to Cleveland. Cleveland for me is like an hour away, for anybody who don't know, and I don't feel like driving all the way up there for Old Boy. But I don't know for sure whether that's gonna be good or not. And I really don't care one way or another if I see it anyways. So I'll be back with something next week. I'll tell you that. It might be Frozen, since it's getting really good reviews, but I really don't want to fucking see that movie, honestly. I don't know. Anyways, I'll be back with something. And I'll talk to you guys later.